Okay, the last two lectures we cover how to visualize vector data, raster data, and today I want to introduce some fun stuff, how you can add some interactive widgets to the maps. Kind of like how do you add a button to the map, how do you add an image to the map, how do you add some drop-down list, right? Basically, you're going to have some interface that allow the user to interact with layers on your map. You can have a button, for example, to opening data on your local computer, and then you can plot that without having to actually use the source code, right? So previously we have add some functions, for example, add vector, add raster, add swap file, add GeoJSON, something like that. There's a way that you can actually add some widget to the map that users just click the button and can load the data. And it's very powerful. So what we're going to use is called the one called IPy widget. So we have been using IPy leaflet. So IPyLib that actually is built on top of IPyWidget. So any widget, anything that you see on the map is a widget. So if you know how to use IPyWidget, it opens a whole lot more opportunities that allows you to design things. And this is essentially what Gmap, LeafMap is about, is actually build components based on IPyWidget. And you can add a lot of things. You can add things on demand, or you can add a button. You can have all kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you step by step how to do that. And before we get into that, I want to show you like how to actually add something to the map. So because um, IPyLib that allows you to add additional components. So I want you to actually go through that first, and then we can introduce IPyWidget. So basically, this is the map. First, let's figure out how to add something to the map. And that something can be anything, okay? We learn about those things later. But for now, let's try to add a simple something to the map so you can use it. So the one is actually under the controls. There's one here called widget control. Okay, the widget control is the one you can actually add stuff. Although here the base map doesn't work right now, but look at this one, right? I can add a zoom, a slider to the map, and you can also have some like color. You can change the color or something like that easily. So these are just two simple ones, but there are a lot more, right? You can have drop down list, you can have text input box, you can have a slider, you can have a radio button, you can have a track box, you can have all kind of stuff, and it can become quite complicated. But look at this code block. Let's just copy this one, and I want to show you how it goes through it step by step. So go to the IPylib that widget control. Then just copy the example. You see here, it's pretty simple. There's only basically one simple widget control class, but it's pretty powerful. This is like allows you to add all kind of things. So I'm going to maybe just add a new code block here. Here's the source code. Then we can go through that. So I'm run this one, see if it works. Again, you want to see that H1 blah blah because the base map no longer available for free. So for you guys, you can maybe right now just simply remove. Probably going to be fine. Or you can use base map dot open topo map. This one here, the Stadia, this one need the API key, so it's not available. But I can try open topo map, for example. On it. Okay, so now I have this. Now a little bit. Again, make sure if you want to use the base map, you need to type the name correctly. Open key uppercase, map uppercase, right? But you don't have it, you can remove it. It should load the OpenStreetMap as well. Then we can try this one out, right? See here. We use the slider. Of course, you can also use your mouse. Right now, it doesn't work, right? But later, if we enable the scroll wheel zoom, it will work. But essentially, this one allows you to control the zoom level of the map. And the other one here is to pick the color. I'm not color. Color. Yeah, the color right now doesn't. It's just a color control, but I don't think it's anything here. But we can certainly use that later to create some text or allow the user to select a color and then can use the color in your program. Right now, it doesn't do anything. So this is like simple things you can add. So IPylib that allows you to add control basically to four corners: top left, bottom left, top right, bottom right. There's only four corners. It's not very flexible, There are other ways you can do other stuff, but in terms of the editing and control, you can have 4 corners. Next, let's take a look at this one. Here, import IPy leaf web map and then base map. So the most important one is this one, widget control. So if you remember what I talked about previously, everything on the IPy leaf map is a widget. And you can have layers, you can have a control. So layer basically is just the layer in here. These are all the controls. So zoom control, full screen control, layer control. If you look at this in here, right? Everything is a weak, draw control, measure control. Everything is a control. Basically, some button map. The widget control is more like a general one. Anything can be treated as a widget control to be added to the map. So here, this is a widget control, and then look at this. Blah blah. This we're going to create the map, right? You understand this one? And here it's so-called the ink slider. So this one is coming from IPy widget. And I'm going to show you later how to find like what kind of widget you can have. But for now, just look at this one. Int slider, basically an integer slider. And then you can have a description. The description is this one. I'm going to show up here, the left corner. And then you can specify a minimum, a maximum, a default value. So min, max, and value. And of this, you can just hover your mouse. You should be able to, doesn't show you the help description. Anyway, and then there's a function here called JSLink. JSLink basically is to link the attribute table. The value of this ink slider to the zoom level of the map. So basically, if I change the value of this slider, it's going to change the zoom level of the map because the map has this attribute called zoom. Okay, and then we're going to construct this widget control. So we're going to pass this widget to here, the widget control, and here this one shows you the position, top right. So basically, okay, I'm going to put it into the top right corner, and after that, at the end, just one button, just one egg function. You don't need this. For example, I can comment out this one. Okay, this would be the simplest example. What I'm doing here is just I'm going to add a ink slider control to here, and then I'm just going to construct a widget control and then add to the map. The critical one is this line. If you don't have this line, then it's not connected. So basically, you're adding something, but that button doesn't do anything. So there will be other ways that we can do. For now, this is the simple one line that allows you to do that. So if I comment this one out, right, keep that in mind. Create a map, create a slider, and then construct a widget control, add the slider to the map. If you run this one, oh yeah, still here, right? So pay attention, right? If I change this one, does nothing. Reason for that, I comment out this one. This one is the key, means that zoom slider, the value, if the value changes, the zoom level is going to change. So where you can actually find out that the slider actually change values. So let me come back to here, just show you. You don't necessarily have to add that one to the map. So the zoom slider can also be displayed. So if I just simply construct a slider and then just display it, again, it can be independent of the map. It doesn't have to be on the map. So this is the slider. So pay attention, right? If you change the value, it's going to show you the value here. The reason that you can see the value is because the zoom slider is a value attribute. So again, pay attention. When run this line, you see the value 9. We change it. When run this one again, it will be updated. So basically, the value is being updated on the fly. So, and this value attribute is that whatever you change is going to update this one. And because we link this one to the map zoom level, it's going to update the map zoom level. So this is why in here we use the JSLink function to link these two together. So that means it's going to change side by side. And also you need to pay attention. It's two ways. So what I mean by two ways, bidirectional, is this one. So pay attention. If I change this one, right? And I can also change this one. Pay attention to the slider. See that? It's being updated. So the link means that they two, whichever change one, you change the other two. So this makes things really interactive because you can have some input for the user, and then later on you can change something to the map and then comes back. So basically they're synchronized rather than like on your GitHub, you put something to there and then eventually messed up and then it doesn't sync. This one you can design the function to make it always sync together. And similarly, I can actually also, for example, I can get the center, the coordinates or something like that. I can also, so basically what I'm trying to do here, that for example, I can have a draw control, allow the user to draw something on the map, and then you're going to grab the coordinates input and then you pass into a program to do some analysis. So for example, you might have a DM, right? You want to allow the user to select a rectangle, draw a rectangle, and then click the imagery, and then run some computation. What's the average value? What's the lane cover type? Or whatever. Can be all can be done within here. Okay. Although it doesn't look very fancy, but it does the job, get the job done, right? It's pretty interactive. Again, it's bi-directional, so it's pretty fun. So look at this one here. It's only a couple lines of code. It's not very complicated. So for now, if I want to change this one to my package, right? I want to actually try out my package rather than using a limit. I can do that as well. So what you can do here, let me show you how to do that, right? I can just add my import my package here, and then pay attention to here. I don't need to change much. The only thing I need to change is to change the map of object from IPyLeaflet to my map class, because my map class inherits IPyLeaflet. So everything works with IPyLeaflet should also work on my package. So only thing that you need to add is this here. You'll be geohead dot. Everything else remains the same because my map class again inherits the IPyLeaflet. So all I need to do is just like right now, instead of ask IPyLeaflet to create a map, I use my old package to create a map, and then everything else will be compatible. So pay attention to here, right? If I run this one, see? Now I have this default layer control, and I also have this one. And the nice thing, because I enable the zoom level control, I don't need to use the zoom button. I can change it. See? But there might be a bug because the zoom level might be greater than 15, I think. So if I continue to zoom in, at the end it's going to stop. It may not allow you to do that. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You see, this one doesn't update anymore because the maximum value is set at 15, but you can certainly go over than 15. So if you really want that, I can come back to here, then I can change the maximum because I know the maximum is 24. So I can change it to 24. And if I come back again, it should update it. So I can get all the way to maybe 20. Might take some time to load up because get high resolution, it's going to be big slower. $17. Okay, yeah, 17 is the maximum. So that's why if you change to 18, it doesn't render anymore. Okay. So although you can think length, doesn't mean that you have the data at that scale, at that variable. And so once you have this one, I can actually remove this. I can just say from IPyLeaflet, this one is not used anymore. I can just delete it. So you don't need to use the IPyLeaflet map class again. You can just use your old package. Okay, and then you need the widget control. This one here is being used because I commented out. So right now it doesn't use. But as you can see here, the only new stuff is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of code. What you are doing is, okay, I construct whatever widget, and then I from the widget passing to the control. The widget itself cannot be added to the map directly. Anything added to the map must be through this widget control. Okay, so you construct the widget, put the widget in the control, add the control to the map, and then you figure out what you want to do with the control. You want the control to change, and then you do some actions. This is what this one is about. And here, this link, the order doesn't matter. I can do it like this. I can come here. I can after add the widget, and then I linked it. Doesn't matter. But certainly, you need to wait until the zoom slider is after this line. But you cannot edit before that. After this line, and then the order It doesn't have to be think first or then the control. You can construct the widget, put the widget in the control, add the control to the map, and then you decide what do I want to do with this widget. Okay, so this should work the same way. If I run this one, take a look, right? Now if I zoom in, you can also do it here. And everything can be customized. For example, here the zoom level, you can just say zoom. I can change it, change the text. Right, so now it becomes zoom. Although you want to see some extra space in here, later I'm going to show you how you can remove it. So everything is customizable, super powerful. Sales. Anyway, we covered it later, but for now, look at this. This is just one simple, nice one. And one thing I'm going to show you, there's a widget called output widget. I think that's one of the most powerful widget is that allows you to do anything to the map. It can be image, it can be video, it can GIF, it can be text, it can be plot, it can be many things. So before I get into like the other widget, I want to show you this one. So it's called output widget. You can from iPad widget import output. Just call output. Okay, and do the same thing. I'm going to come here, show you. I'm going to say okay. Let's say widget equal to output, and then okay, you can have the border. You can just parentheses. You don't need to put anything in there. And then you see here widget control. Probably you want to change the name because previously I already have this one. So I'm going to change to maybe output control. Bear with me. You probably don't understand yet. That's fine. But later when you see the result, you will understand it. Output. And then I can just add control. Just add. Okay. Add output control. Okay. And it's done. Let me show you. Run this one. So I'm going to add an output control to the bottom bottom right corner. So it's supposed to be in here. So this is only 3 lines. So pay attention here. I create this output control, output widget, and then put it in the output control, and then add it to there. But for now, you see, it doesn't have anything. The reason is that I haven't put anything into it yet. So if you want to put something in there, look at this one. So the name is called widget. Okay. Maybe let me change the name so probably more clear so that you know, get confused. I'm going to rename this widget called output widget. Okay. If you change this way, it's going to change also here. Same thing. So right now they'll run again. And then I can show you what kind of things you can do to this one. So output widget, if you want to do something to that, you usually just do it like this. With whatever the output widget that you have. And you say, print welcome to GeoHealth map. Okay. So pay attention to the bottom right corner here. Right now it doesn't have anything. See that? See that? Of course, you can, if you don't want to duplicate it, you can have this like output widget. So clear output. So that means every time if I do something, you will clear the previous one. So in this way, you will on just one line. So pay attention. Doesn't change. It always one line. And the cool stuff about this one is that it allows you to add plot, it allows you to add maps, it allows you to add anything. So let me show you. I'm going to maybe ask Copilot, give me some like matplotlib, like sample map, sample plot matplotlib. Okay. You can add a scatter plot, you can add bar plot, you can add all kind of stuff. So just pay attention to that. Look at this one. I'm just going maybe just copy this and just to show you what it is. I'm going to copy the source code here. Then I can come to this way. I can just run it. What happens? See? Now I have this one. And it's pretty simple. All I need to do, all the source code, let me edit before it. Okay. And you can have the plot. You can make it outside the map fine as well. So for example, right now, if I run this one, see? Oh, it's already executed, whatever. And how about this? I'm going to import this. Just copy this source code. And then I'm going to come to this widget. So pay attention to here. I'm going to, when you execute something, I'm going to clear the output. Maybe after this one. After the print function. So I'm going to put something in here. What I'm doing is like, okay, print some text. And then I'm going to add a plot. So plt.show. It's work. So let me remove this one. Okay. So print some text with a plot. And that means, yeah, plt, not plot, plt. Okay. So pay attention to here. Let's try it out. Okay. Although it's too big, okay, because the plot size is too big, so we can change it. For example, here I can say bigger size. Big size 64, for example. A little bit smaller. Okay. A bit better. Still too much. Let me change this smaller. 3. Nice. See that? Like I said, it can be text, it can be figure, it can be anything. So all you need to just put things within here. Do whatever you want to do within this output widget, and then you just print, or you can plot. You can even play the video in here. Embed a video. You can embed an image. You can embed anything. And so essentially, this is how you can change things, add things to the map. And again, you can only get to 4 corners. Bottom right, I can also do bottom left, for example. Come back to here. Bottom left, run it. And of course, you need to run this one again if you create a widget. But now it should come to the bottom left. Top left, top right. Those are the 4 corners you can have. And you can also imagine, right? If you can change this one, map will stop there. But I can also change like when I change the slider, I can actually make it change the plot. You can make the plot interactive if you want to. We haven't covered those advanced stuff yet. For now, just to show you that it's really flexible. So it's up to you what you want to do. You can always add things to the map. But be careful about the size. Sometimes you don't want to have the big like plot. It's too overwhelming. So you might need to reduce the size, or you can make the map a little bit larger. So I can do it here. For example, the map is too narrow. I can map dot layout. There's a if you want to change the height, you will map dot layout dot height equal to how many pixels. For example, I change to 800 pixels, then it should be much larger one, right? So now it's much bigger. And if I run this one again, it should not block the map, the plot, right? I'm much bigger. So everything, like I said, is customizable. It can be changed. Also, if you want to remove it, for example, right now, 100 is just much, 100. And, right, so if I add a widget control here, I look at this one. So if it's after that, if you don't need it anymore, I can just come to here, like output widget dot clear output. So pay attention. Boom. On. You can clear it. So everything is just like I said, it's a widget. You can add more stuff. You can print it. You can add other stuff. So if I run again, like this. Also, all the controls is accessible on. It's just like a Lego building block. So if I just type m dot controls, this one shows you all the controls to the map. So if you look at this one, widget control, position, blah, blah, bottom left, and then widget, and then in slider, positions, so the layer control. So if there's any control that you don't like, you can actually remove it. Let's take this one as an example, right? We have the zoom control. We have the layers control. We have the widget control here and another widget control here. So in total, we have also the attribution control is at the bottom here, this one. So if there's something that you don't like, you can remove it. So for example, I can just do this way. I can say m.controls equal to m.controls, and then you can say something negative, start from the beginning. And then, for example, if I want to remove this two, say this one. If you want to remove this two widget control, I can do -2. No, -3. -3 means like I'm going to remove this too. -1, this is -1. This is -2. -3 is not counted. So pay attention to the map right now. So it's going to basically remove this one and this one. Okay, so if I run this line, and see, to be -2, sorry. -3 also remove the layers control. This one is also gone. So it should be, but right now, if I run -2 again, what happened? Yeah, so it's going to take this and this out. So your map will end up with no control. Yeah. And also can remove layer, for example, if you have multiple layer, if you want to remove the layer, and if you really want to remove all the control, then you don't need to use the negative. You can just use the clear control. It will remove all the controls all at once. So it'll be similar like this one. You'll be m.clear. Is to have a clear control. I don't know why it's anymore. Try this one. Clear control. Yeah, it actually works. We'll remove all the controls. And let's also want to go clear layers. It will remove all the layers, right? Clear layers. On this one, pay attention. Boom. On. So this is, like I said, just like Lego. You can add things to it. You can remove it. You can reorganize things. It's super, super flexible. So because iPy Leaflet is built on top of iPy widget, and everything can be treated as a widget. Questions? Very easy, right? Yeah, you can add to the function. For example, I can say map.add slider, for example. Map.add zoom slider, if you want. Then you can embed your stuff in your source code. The user don't have to know how you actually construct the slider. So you construct the slider, you construct the control, and then you define what you want to do with the control. And then you can embed it, basically embed it in your map class. Everything will be just it's methods. So user don't have to know iPy widget. You do the coding. Okay, so next let's talk about iPy widget. And if you want, you can download the notebook from my repo. So it's under the GeoHay website. And then examples, iPy widget. So if you want, you can download this one to a computer. And here I show you the list of some of the commonly used one that we're going to maybe use in this class. You can also go to this URL here, ipywidget.readthedocs.io. This one shows you all kind of widgets. On the left side here, you see there a lot of cool stuff. Look at this. You can change the slider. You can change this interactively. It's so fun. On the left side here, there's a widget list. You click this one, it will show you a lot of widgets. For example, slider. Well, you can change it, right? So this is to be interactive. So here, it actually works on the website. Floating slider, ink slider, progress bar, text box, Boolean, checkbox, for example, right? So you want to have something with a checkbox that when the user checks something, you want to do something else. A value selection, you can have a drop down list, something like that. I'm to clear out here. No, that one is from iPy leaflet. So you inherit that one, you can use it, but you can also override it. Even if you don't define it in your map class, you can use it. Kind of like you inherit the genetic from your parents. You're going to have those similar ones, but you can add some new stuff. So for example, your kids are going to inherit you, and maybe the other one come from your wife. Those will not available in your parents. So for the source code that we have constructed so far, most of the things we create a new one, but certainly you can also override. For example, you come to this one here, right? We don't have the clear layers in here, but we can certainly define DF clear layers. Then you're going to override your parents. So that's the reason that why we use object-oriented language is allow you so-called inheritance. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel, because if your parents already have that, you can inherit. It's become yours, but you can improve it if you want to. Yeah, if you want to add a zoom or something, you can certainly add a widget. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to. If you're talking about importing libraries, you can import the stuff at the beginning here, or you can also import things within the function, just like what we did for example, the add raster, right? This one we import things inside, because if you put things at the top, it's going to import them when you are calling the map class, when you're creating the map. But sometimes these things are not used a lot in your package. You don't want to import them. This is kind of like in ArcGIS. When you open ArcGIS, in the past you can check the extension. You remember, right? You don't want to load all the extension because it slows down. And sometimes you might, if you don't have the license, you might run into errors. But you can put it inside when the user allow them to check themselves. So inside the package, you can have this routine to check whether the user has this package or not. Because if they only use once or twice, it doesn't make sense to load it at the beginning. So similar to the matplotlib or something like, I can add a function called add slider. So anyway, maybe just to answer both of your questions, how to actually add that one to the map in here. It's a class, it's a function, it's a method, so that user can call this one and then add the slider to the map, right? So let's do this one on the fly. I can do it like this, like df add zoom slider, for example. So this is essentially what I want to do. To add a slider to the map, just one line, so the user don't have to know what it is. Okay, thanks Google Copilot, Copilot, fantastic. It's not so good. I don't like it. I probably need to change it. But it's going to add something, the zoom slider, and then going to allow you to position. But usually what I do is to look at the source code, see how it works, right? So I'm going to look at this one that I added previously. It's somewhere here, right? So it's going to be like this, right? So what we are going to do is actually convert this one into here. And you need to pay attention to this, right? To the input. We don't need the base map again, right? This can be handled by our map class. So essentially what we really need is this 4 lines of code to move it into here. And if you look at the source code here, what kind of things you can customize? What do you think, what parameter we need to provide? Of course, the position, that one is optional, but you can also provide, for example, the description, whether you want the user to add something or not, and the minimum, the maximum, and also default value. So those things are all can be customizable. So what I would do is like, and once you figure out what you want to add, then I can come here. I can say, yeah, okay, the description equal to zoom level, and then position equal to top right, and I can also here will be min equal to 0, max equal to maybe 24, and then I can say value equal to maybe 10, for example, right? So this basically you want to set these parameters. User can customize it, but you can use the default values. And once you have this, let's think about how we add it, right? The first line, you need to construct this one, the ink slider. So the ink slider comes from the IPy widget. So in general, I mean, for the map class, you want to import the IPy widget, because if you want to use a whole lot, you want to import the IPy widget from here. So this is the convention. Usually look like this: import IPy widget as widget. You see, Google Copilot, Copilot knows that, because this is how people use. And once you import it, then you can use the slider. So what you're going to come to here is to show you. It's going to be like I can say zoom. Just follow the same thing in here, pretty much the same. So zoom slider equal to, okay, perfect. I like it. Give me time, right? So basically, I'm going to create the ink slider, and the description is going to come from here, where you describe the min, the max, the value, right? So this one, once you construct a slider, then it's a widget. Then you need to have the control. So here you will be with maybe control equal to, then you'll be ipy widget control, and then you put the slider, put the widget in this control, and the position is going to be, for example, the top right or whatever you like. By default, it's going to be top right, and then that's it. And then just self.add control. I think the new function is just add. You don't need to add control. Uh, control is ipy leaflet. The widget control come from ipy leaflet. The ink slider widget come from the ipy widget. So they two are separate. Separate. Yeah, define is like, think about like the Lego. The widget is the Lego, and the one you're already constructing, this is ipy leaflet. So it's already have. So the widget control is controlled by me, not by Lego. I already define the protocol how you can add it to my. For example, this is the disk. You guys are doing the Lego. When you come to work with the English table, you need to follow my guidelines. My guidelines is using the widget control. You can only put things in a certain way. You can give it to me, and then I plug in, and then it just works. Okay. So sometimes it can be confused. The widget control is not ipy widget. It's from ipy leaflet. So we construct the widget, and basically, for example, I have this table. You construct a house, and then you just put it in here, and I have a holder here to hold it, and then attach you to this foundation. Okay. Once you do that, then you need to think about what do you want to do when the user. Once you have this slider, when the user drag the slider, you need to do something. So this is essentially where you need to do, right? The last line here, the JS link. So again, the JS link come from ipy widget. Okay, this one ipy link. It's a bit confusing, but it's not many functions you need to remember. So ipy widget dot JS link. Okay, and yeah, cool. Zoom slider, the value, and this one is the self. Okay, because this is the map. The map is the self, and it's going to link the slider value to the zoom level of the map. Again, the map itself, not M, okay? Anything that you see here, you see the M, you're going to change it to self because it's the abstract class. When the user create a map, then you will become M or N or whatever variable name you're going to use. So the name doesn't matter. But inside here, you need to be yourself. It's basically the map class. And that's it. So pretty much, this is how you define it. And then, okay, now we can come back to test it, see how it works. Okay, so restart the kernel, and then clear the output. Clear the output. And then, so all I need to do, for example here, create a new block, and then just import your package. Okay, Geo run it, and then just m equal to your package.map, and then m run it. Okay, usually I will just create a map first, and now we can actually try out our new functions. M dot add zoom slider. See here. And do I need to add anything? No, because I have all the default things. See? Then they link together. Okay. Uh, no, it should link. I'm not sure something is wrong. Oh, JSD link, directional link. So it's with JS link. Sorry, directional link means from one direction, from the slider to the map. The map to the slider is not linked. So you need to use the JS link, not JSD link. Okay. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. And again, I'm going to restart my kernel. This time should be linked bidirectional. Okay, I'll run this one and this one. So now you see, nice. Okay, and I can customize it, right? So for example, I can say the position equal to bottom right and run it. Okay, now it's at the bottom right. You can change to bottom left if you have to, right? And also this maximum, like you can also customize because sometimes you don't want to go too far. For example, if you add a base map, so let me show you here. I say um, m.add, how is it? Okay, we're a couple minutes. So add base map, right? I'm gonna add open topo map, open topo map. Want it? So as we uh eh, yeah, as we did earlier, the open topo map, it doesn't have a zoom level very high. So let me find this one somewhere very high. Um, you continue to zoom in, like see what level you can go all the way. 9, 10, I believe 17 or like 12, 13, 15, 16, and it's gone. Okay. So basically the maximum is like 17. After 17, layer doesn't play. So if you really want to control that layer, probably in here, the zoom level, you want to set here maximum, max equal to 17. And then the default value, for example, I can change it to a low value, maybe 5. On it. Okay. Now you can go over than 17. This is the maximum. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Exactly. So this is why you have these default parameters. If you don't have it, users need to specify. Otherwise, they run into error. So when you're trying to add something, you always think about, I mean, what's the base usually optimal values, the default one that you don't really need to provide, and try to have those in there. Otherwise, user need to provide every parameter. So if you don't have equal to 0, equal to 24, if you remove that, then you need to basically all the parameters. It's not fun when you have 10 parameters you need to provide. People need to think about what's the order, what's the sequence, what's the name of the parameter. So it becomes a little bit annoying. So this is what you usually want to do, for example, something like this. And you can also allow the user to pass in maybe some data, and then you can plot. So for example, I can add some, for example, a plot that you give me a data frame, and then I plot the data frame on the map. So that makes it super flexible because you can give me any data frame. So I can maybe add plot, add figure or whatever, add image, add anything. And then you can show you one last example. Show you there should be an image, for example, here. Look at this one, widget. And this is where you can actually construct an image widget. And then I can display the image widget on the map. This makes it like really powerful because you can display anything on there. So for example, I can create another one. So a df add widget. I can create a generic one. Then you can give me anything, and then I can go to display it. You can give me a time slider. You can give me anything. Okay. Okay, this is cool. I like it. And so you give me a iPie widget. I'm going to have the widget control, and I'm going to pass in that and put in a certain position. So now this is where it actually is going to be fun. So now I have this one, and let's try it out. So I'm going to remove at this one and restart my kernel. And so right now I don't need this anymore. I just have an empty map. Okay. And with that, now I can come back to the iPie widget. I can add anything showing up in here to the map. Okay, this is for example, a play slider. Playing anything. How about maybe, for example, date slider, for example, like this, right? Pretty cool. I want to add this one to the map. All I need to start come here, copy, and then what I can want to do here is actually something like this. Of course, you need to import the widget, import the IPy widget. So you'll be like this. Import IPy widget as widget, and then I'm going to construct a widget. Okay. Once you have that, pay attention to here. M.add widget here. Then I just pass, or you need to give a name to the variable name to the widget. I'm going to have widget equal to this one, and then I'm going to add the widget to the map. So pay attention to here, right? Here I don't use the add control. I'm actually add control because in general you need two steps, right? You need to construct the widget, put it into the control, and then add the control to the map. The reason I don't need to do that because in these methods, you just give me the widget, I will handle the rest for you. So you can just focus on time that what widget you want to add. So pay attention to this one, right? We're getting the date widget. I will run it. See? How nice? And now I have a date selection here on the map that allows me to allow the user, for example, if you have some application, you want the user to select, filter the images by date or something, you can do it like this way. And we're out of time, but again, you're welcome to try it out. So I can give me one more minute. For example, beside, how about this color picker here, right? I have a color picker. I can copy this one, and then I come back to here, add this. You can add as many widgets as you want. So I'm going to have here, and then I can define this one as a variable color equal to this, and then I can just m.add widget color. Okay, so you're gonna have multiple widgets on the map, and run it. Okay, I have this one. I also have this one. Pretty fun. So you can try out different things. And next lecture we're gonna cover the list, what available widget you can have. But this is the whole step of adding things to the map, and basically the essential things that you need to have in order to make your application very interactive. Okay, so that's all for today.